All right, welcome back to Harbor Guard. I want to give a little presentation just on the gloss meter and its use in working with fiberglass and painted surfaces, metal painted surfaces, flat surfaces, not really effective on any kind of bar stock. Okay, so in using the gloss meter, it's really important to make sure it's calibrated. Now, while it will self-calibrate when you turn it on, I always like to have a calibration, since there's 5 of them available, to manually calibrate it. So this is at 95.8. So then when I take measurements, I take 4 measurements, and I can take a picture of where I started, and I know my calibration was right, and I know my next 4 measurements are on the job. So in this piece of fiberglass here, say it's a hard top or it's a transom or something, I would come by before I do any other cleaning than just basically soap and wash, and I would take 4 measurements. So when I'm done, it shows 95.8 on the top line and 2.6, 1.8, 3.2, and 2.2 on the bottom. Okay, so this has got hardly any kind of polish to it because it's raw fiberglass or raw gel coat, and nothing's happened to it yet. So once I have that, then I'll go to my cleaning regimen and I'll degrease the surface, and I'll get with my IPA and I'll get it all nice and clean and dry and perfect. If I gotta do any other polishing or any other wet sanding because it's too oxidized, whatever it is, I get all that done. Then I go back and I take another calibration measurement. And now I go back and take my 4 measurements again, and I can see where I was before I apply Harbor Guard. Then, once I apply Harbor Guard, I come back 24 hours later, I do the same thing, I give myself a calibration line, and then I take 4 measurements around the job site so I can see where I ended up. And so a lot of times you might start with 2.6. I might then get this totally clean, ready to go, and only get as high as a 20 or 25. Once Harbor Guard goes on, I'll end up somewhere in the 80s and 85. So it's not necessarily indicative that you end up at a high number before you put on Harbor Guard, which is more like a ceramic. You want that number as high as you can before a ceramic coating goes on. With Harbor Guard, it's a lot more forgiving. So if you get anything close to the 30s or 25s or above, you can go ahead and put Harbor Guard on and be comfortable that you're going to finish somewhere up in the 80s, even high 70s on a boat that's highly oxidized and needed a lot of prep. Is still an awesome number, and you'll be really pleased with the finish. So that's the way to use your gloss meter. It helps you log where you started, what you did, and where you finish. You can put it in the customer file. When they come back in 2 years, they want a little renewal on their product, you can kind of see where you are and how much that it's degraded. So it's a good way to track yourself, your work, and your customer. All right, that's the gloss meter. Talk to you later.